Cyclone Charlotte is not far from hurricane equivalent intensity as it intensifies in the Australian region still. 15.6 degrees south, 110.7 degrees east, which puts it probably halfway between Australia itself and Indonesia. Currently right now, 70 mile per hour winds, as mentioned, 110 kilometers per hour. That's sustained winds, a pressure of 991 millibars, moving southwest at 14 kilometers per hour. There's its current position and the latest specific information. No warnings out on this storm right now, but it has been showing itself a decent display in the last 24 hours and could strengthen a little more before starting to weaken. Currently 785 kilometres from Christmas Island, 792 from Exmouth, West Australia, 1080 from Carnarvon, 1520 from Geraldton and 1892 from Perth. So the storm will be tracking closer to those locations in the next few days, but at the moment the forecast doesn't appear as though we'll see a direct landfall in Western Australia, but there could be some rainfall associated with the storm reaching the coastline. Well, let's take a look at its forecast track. This is what we're expecting over the next few days, complete with wind field there, so the green areas showing where tropical storm conditions are likely to be received. This is of course if the forecast track goes to plan. There is some uncertainty about it, especially with its slow movement at the moment. By the weekend it's likely to turn post-tropical as it dives down there towards the west coast of Australia and then moving up towards the northwest before getting absorbed. So here's the cone from the Bureau of Meteorology on the left hand side, category 2 on the Australian scale from the Bureau. JTWC going higher with 70 miles per hour, which is still tropical storm strength on the Saffir-Simpson scale. All very confusing, I know. But this is the GFS forecast model showing the track of the storm there. Brief hurricane equivalent status there, and then it jumps down there towards the south, and tropical storm force winds appear to remain offshore. Also like to point out on the left hand side there another potential tropical cyclone, but sticking with Charlotte you can see once again going through that loop the tropical storm force wind fields highlighted in green from the storm itself remaining offshore, and that's how it's expected to stay. So onto that rainfall, this is what we're looking at in terms of rainfall amounts. So let's just see how much the Western Australian coast gets there. Not much initially by the looks of things, and then when the storm jumps south you can see it again, those numbers increasing, but most of it, yes, still remaining offshore. Only little bits expected in Western Australia, mainly in the Perth region, but still we're only looking at that imagery, maybe 25 millimeters at most, probably less than that if the current forecast track goes to plan. Sea surface temperatures are decent around the storm right now, 86 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 30 degrees Celsius, very warm for tropical cyclone development, although it drops off pretty quickly as it rounds the northwestern tip of Western Australia around Exmouth, and then down there temperatures drop to 25, then down to 22, so it will turn post-tropical rather quickly once it dives down there into those higher latitudes. Here's some satellite imagery. An interesting note there, you can see that the daylight fades out almost vertically because we're near the equinox. Looking at the water vapor imagery there, you can see dry air lingering on the left hand side, some strong areas of that, and that's why the storm appears to be lopsided towards the right hand side. But still the centre of it looking decent, blowing up some good cloud tops, so there is definitely potential for it to reach category 1 hurricane status very shortly, and possibly category 3 on the Australian scale as this storm continues to move slowly towards the southwest.